Do you get many passports? Getting a passport is not easy, and it depends on the country you're trying to get the passport from. But generally, you're not going to get a passport from some country without residency or something. It's not how it works. Stuff. Yeah, but for that 100,000, first of all, most of them are more expensive than 100,000. You're gonna have to go through a criminal background check and a whole lot of other things to do that. So, again, you don't have a full picture there. There are a few, and for a while during COVID, some of them were getting pretty desperate, so they lowered it down to about 100,000. I think most of them have brought it back up now. They used to be like 250. St. Petersburg, as usual. So, yeah, it is a very nice city. I think it's pretty much all the Russian cities look like this. Time, it's just after 8 o'clock. It's a river. The other side of the bridge is Hermitage. Yeah, a little bit rainy today, but it wasn't so hot, which was nice. Temperature right now, I mean, it's 8 o'clock at night, and it's rainy today. It's about 20 degrees Celsius, which is like, I don't know, about 68 Fahrenheit. No, that's Lenin. Yeah, it's very comfortable. It only rained for a short time. What do you get? No, not North Korea. Yeah, that's Lenin right there. Yeah, that's one of my favorite squares. It's near the train station, so I come here a lot because I'm coming out of this train station a lot. Yeah, very clean, very calm. Yeah, Russian cities are super clean and full of greenery. So often I come here, and when I'm waiting for a train or something, I'll just sit here, park. Yeah, media is just insane. These fountains too, I forget what time, but later in the evening they turn on the musical fountains. Oh, it's far from deserted. There's plenty of people up at the other end. Yeah, there's plenty of pride in the maintenance and cleanliness, absolutely. If I go closer to the train station, dude, there's lots of people. It's just down where I am now, unless somebody's just enjoying the park. Well, Russia has not been communist since 1990 or so. In a lot of ways, Russia is a better implementation of capitalism than the West. Worst days in the 90s, it didn't drop. Oh, well, no, the 90s was pretty bad. The 90s was bad. It was, the parks were in bad shape. It was, yeah, but I mean, considering they basically completely collapsed, you know. Yeah, it's very clean. Yeah, there's a capitalist system here that has a good socialist. Yeah, there's a capitalist system here that has a good socialist backdrop. I mean, the U.S. has a socialist backdrop too. People don't like to call it that, but there's Social Security, unemployment, it's all socialist stuff. It's just the U.S. doesn't do it very well, whereas Russia has a pretty good backdrop, especially when it comes to medical care. Tear down communist symbols? Well, not really, because it's seen as a historical thing. It's like ask an American, why don't you tear down the portraits of George Washington because he owned slaves? And, you know, Americans especially, I mean, Europeans have something, but especially Americans are very hypocritical about this. But here, no. Stalin was torn down. People did not like, generally most people don't like Stalin. You will not see Stalin almost anywhere. But you'll still see lots of Lenin. Lenin is everywhere. Yeah, people speak openly about stuff. Especially in private. I mean, it's one thing to go on and make blogs about things, but you find Lenin everywhere here. But Lenin is, to Russians, is kind of like George Washington is to Americans. You know, they recognize the bad things that happened, but there's also historical context to it. So, well, 1953, yes, but he was still upheld for quite a bit. Well, 1953, yes, but he was still upheld for quite a bit under the Soviet Union. But 1953, he took his biggest hit, yeah. Is Stalin talked about in Russian history classes? I'm sure he is, but in what context and how, I don't exactly know. I didn't go through Russian schooling. So, yeah, I mean, Stalin was just a straight-up monster. Lenin did a lot of bad things, and I'm not saying whether or not it's my opinion, but some could say that Lenin was just misguided, although he did kill a lot of people. But Stalin was just a straight-up monster. Taking notes for Estonia. God, the Estonian government, man. Just nutballs. I have nothing against Estonian people, but y'all's government is just, oh my gosh, insane. Of all the people they chose to pick on me, I mean, seriously. It's even worse because, you know, I use Western news sources. It's like, you know, they don't go after the real propagandists over here, but I use Western news sources. It's like, you know, they don't go after the real propagandists over here, but little old me, they're afraid of me somehow. I don't know how. That came as a total surprise to me when I was on Estonia's, you know, I don't want to call it a hit list, but their list anyways. No, Russia, if anything, is one of the few truly independent countries, whether or not you agree with what they do. One of the few countries that's truly independent. Yeah, I try and present Russia just like it is. I know I get accused of all kinds of things, but, you know, walking around showing you what it is. I mean, I went to like a dozen cities in June and showed people stuff, and they're like, go farther. I'm like, dude, I'm like 2,000 kilometers from Moscow. You know? Yes, I'm aware of that. I have lots of friends there. Europe is in real trouble. The next decade for Europe is going to be very tough. I mean, COVID dealt everybody a blow, but the number of immigrants they have between Syria, the Africa, Ukraine, plus all the money that's in Ukraine. It's not a sustainable situation. And I have nothing against the immigrants. I mean, especially the asylum seekers, they need places to go, but just the situation in Europe is not something that's sustainable. And the UK is probably among the worst. I mean, lots of European countries have issues. Oh, look, a bench that needs fixing. Everybody can cry about how poor Russia is. Look, this bench needs fixing. Okay, well, I'm sure they will fix it rather soon. One out of how many benches? The Netherlands? Oh, I like Netherlands, cool. I love the sound of falling water. So these fountains are just part of my magical summer. And I enjoy so much it. If I'm waiting on a train or whatever, that I can just come here and enjoy these fountains. Prices are fine. The thing that's hurting me is that the ruble strengthened, and then with Trump's tariffs, he weakened the dollar. Not just against the ruble, he weakened the dollar against every currency. So the ruble is up to about 76 to the dollar, which, you know, impacts me quite a bit. It was better for me. It was between 90 and 100. When's it going to end? Quite a bit. It was better for me. It was between 90 and 100. When's it going to end? I don't know. I'm hoping the next year or so it'll turn into at least a frozen conflict. But as far as prices going up, yeah, I mean, our inflation is there, but it's not like being portrayed in the US. And the salaries are generally being increased to match it. So, yeah, I mean, there's many things to like here. $100 to 76, yeah, right now it's 79. It's been below 80 for like the last, it's been hovering between mostly 77 to 80 for like the last 3 months or so. So remember, mostly 77 to 80 for like the last 3 months or so. So remember when Joey's like, it's gonna destroy, it's gonna go to 120, Russia's over. Him and oh, that one guy that annoys me more than Joey, I can't remember his name. The guy, I don't remember the guy's name, but he just, don't people realize, go back and look at their old videos and almost remember his name. The guy, I don't remember the guy's name, but he just, don't people realize, go back and look at their old videos and almost none of them come true. Russia's done, the ruble's gonna be 120. In truth, the proper value for the ruble is somewhere between 90 and 100. And the Russian government actually wants it to go there, because since they're selling oil that's denominated in dollars, they get more rubles. They don't want it to be too weak, but it wants it to go there, because since they're selling oil that's denominated in dollars, they get more rubles. They don't want it to be too weak, but or the builders are offering, you know, 6% for 5 years or something. So it definitely hurts mortgages, but it's not as crazy as you would think. Okay, I think I'm gonna make a round up here, and then I have some cold stuff in my bag from the grocery store. So I'm gonna hop on some transport and head home when I get up here. That's why this train station, what's nice about this train station is not only do all the trains come here, but because it's a train station, it's a major transport hub. So buses, the trolleys, the trolley buses, everything comes here. So it's super convenient. Canadians visit? Yeah, I mean, it's easy. Just get a tourist visa and come. We have plenty of Westerners here. You just have to fly through Serbia or Georgia or Turkey, or for Canadians, Turkey is probably the easiest route. I don't know if Turkey has flights to Canada, but they do to the US. They might have a flight to Toronto or something. But yeah, it's very easy. And take a look at the people too. You notice how both how people dress? thinking I'm not in any fancy part of town. I'm at a train station, okay? But notice how people dress, also the sizes. And there's always some street music somewhere. Of varying levels. I mean, this guy's okay. He's not bad. Some of the street musicians are really, really good. But not bad. It's nice to be able to sit in the park. I like when they're not too loud. This guy's not very loud. Sometimes, I notice more in Moscow than St. Petersburg. Sometimes the ones in Moscow, they really get really loud. Just annoyingly so. Oh yeah, it's super clean. I've talked about this too, both because, you know, the city administration makes sure everything's clean, but people have a bit of a social agreement to keep things clean. You notice there's trash cans everywhere. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. I count 31 trash cans. Oh, 32. 32 trash cans just by turning around. And they empty them all the time. What's the name of this? St. Petersburg, Russia. So, you know, they're constantly emptying the trash cans, so you always have a place to put stuff. And it's just, yeah, this is how it is. The West could only take some lessons. Oh, 33. Spot another one. Spot another trash can. And here's the train station. Yeah, I know, drug addicts, you won't find them. They either get treatment or, you know, they're told, you know, go off into the shadows. They don't tolerate them that way. Yeah, Venice of the North. Actually, Venice of the North. St. Petersburg is often called the Venice of the North. It does remind me, I've never been to Venice. It reminds me more of Amsterdam, and a lot of it was modeled after Amsterdam because Peter the Great went to Amsterdam to learn how to build the canals. And so, if I had to pick one city though, it's closest to Paris. But if you were to mix like Paris with Amsterdam, that would be a good description. But it is often called the Venice of the North. So there's a train station, Burger King. Appreciate the follow there. And you can see the time about 8:20. It's Finland train station. We used to have trains that went to Helsinki and other places, but not since before. Oh yeah, super depressing. Look at this. Let's see what we can get at, well, depending on how you do the exchange rate, right now that's about $1. That's about $2. But with a natural exchange rate, it would be about $1.50. So you can get a fish or chicken. I can't tell. It's not looking close. A drink. I'm assuming it's chicken because it's KFC. And fries for $1.50 to $2 depending on how. What year is this building? Yeah, pre-immigrant. I won't call it an invasion, but pre-immigrant, yes. This goes back to at least before the revolution, because this is where Lenin, when he was in exile, he returned and gave his famous speech on returning to Russia. And that's what that statue down there is. So this is the Finland train station, but this square is called Lenin Square. So this is Lenin Square. So I'm guessing the train station probably goes back. Well, this building, let's see. This building itself, though, it has Soviet, and here you go. It has Soviet murals up there. So I don't know how far this building itself goes back, but those don't look. Here you go. It has Soviet murals up there. So I don't know how far this building itself goes back, but those don't look to be imperial reliefs. They look to be like they're probably Soviet. Although I don't see any Soviet markers themselves, it appears to be very Soviet. So I don't know, but it's, you know, it's fairly old. Could be 30s. Yeah. D-Day is May 9th. I was on Red Square for May 9th. Okay, I'm gonna hop off because, as I said, I have some cold stuff in my bag here, and I gotta get home. But I'll pop on some other time. I'll do more of these lives like this, just short little things, show you Russia. See y'all.